Hello, my Slitherbells. So I am back today with another video and another Harry Potter video for you guys. Before we get started on the video, I just wanted to say if you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button below if you want to be a part of the Slitherbell army here on YouTube. Very exclusive stuff. I just wanted to do a quick little intro about what we're going to be talking about today, and it's going to be Hogwarts houses. Basically, have you guys ever felt that you belonged in multiple houses? Because I know I have. I connect on a deeper level with Slytherin, but I do also feel certain aspects of myself are quite Hufflepuff. And I'm sure some of you guys feel similar to the way I do, maybe about different houses though. This video today was something that one of my subscribers, one of you guys, Jessie, suggested that I talked about. Jessie sent me a link to a Tumblr page, and it was called the Sorting Hat Chats, and it's run by two people, Inky and Kat. They basically go in depth with discussing sortings and the sorting hat system. I will be going over the basics of what Kat and Inky wrote and researched. Just keep watching and find out what their theory is. It's quite interesting. It's very long, so I will only be talking about the really basic points. If you really wanted to know your own personal Hogwarts houses and your personality and how that ties in, then they have all that on their page. So go check that out after you watch this. Disclaimer, this video is just for fun. Please don't be offended by anything that is said in this video, anything that I read, anything that I talk about the Sorting Hat Chats. It is just for fun. So let's just finally dive into the video. So these girls believe that we aren't just sorted into one house. I mean, technically we are, because we're sorted into the house that we choose to be in, but they think that we're actually sorted into two tiers of houses. And these tiers are called primary and secondary. Your primary house is the why you do things in life, why. And your secondary house is the how you go about life. So I'm gonna begin with the primary house. They say your primary house is the why you do things. This is your motivation, your values, how you see the world around you. It's how and what you prioritize, and it's what you use to determine any decisions you make. I'll tell you guys now, my primary house is Slytherin. So we'll start with if you identify your primary house as Gryffindor. Gryffindor, the brave. So they really trust their moral intuitions. They go with their gut feeling, their gut instincts. If they don't go along with those feelings, then it feels immoral to them. This, however, doesn't mean that a Gryffindor primary will only ever act on impulse. They do have the ability to weigh their decisions carefully, but if it just feels wrong to them, they won't do it. They can't do it. Ravenclaw primaries. Ravenclaw, the wise. They are the system lovers. So it says that Ravenclaw primaries have a constructed system that they test their decisions against before they feel comfortable calling something right. To me, that means that they will probably test out every option and make sure that it's the right call before they act on anything. Hufflepuff primaries. Hufflepuff the fair. Hufflepuff primaries value people. They love being a part of a community and predominantly connect with groups more, and they kind of base their decision making off of who needs the most help. Slytherin primaries. Slytherin primaries are extremely loyal. The difference between the loyalty of a Hufflepuff versus the loyalty of a Slytherin, Hufflepuff's loyalty is kind of extended towards a greater amount of people. Slytherins are only loyal to those they feel most closest to, the ones that they cherish the most. Everyone else, no. Their ambitious reputation comes from the outward need of wanting to help themselves and their most important people. Now, this might get a little bit complicated. I hope that you guys follow with what I'm trying to explain, but before we move on to secondary houses, the primary houses actually are broken down into a couple of categories. Now, the first two categories I'm going to be talking about is idealists versus loyalists. Now, the primary houses that are idealists focus on truths and right and wrong. The two houses would be Ravenclaw and Gryffindor. Primary houses that are loyalists care about people, whether it's one friend, a small amount of people, or a big group of people. Doesn't matter. So the loyalist houses are Hufflepuff and Slytherin. The next category for primary houses is constructed houses versus felt houses. Felt primary houses are the houses that go with their gut. They go with their gut instincts no matter what. And these houses are Hufflepuff and Gryffindor. And then for constructed primary houses, they still have a gut instinct, but they have a system that they've created for themselves that they follow instead of using that first intuition. Now these houses are Ravenclaw and Slytherin. With me so far? Yeah? So like I said, my primary house is Slytherin. What is yours? Tell me in the comments. Moving on to secondary houses. Now, secondaries are the how you approach life and how you navigate through life and how you problem solve, what skills and methods are most important to you. Let me clarify as well that secondary house does not mean that it is less than the primary house. It's just the way that they said that they worded it and they just didn't want to change it. You can very easily identify yourself as your secondary house and not your primary. So I just want to clear that up, that it has nothing to do with being your second favorite. So remember that secondary is how you approach life. And if you guys want to know, my secondary house would be Hufflepuff. Let me know in the comments what your secondary house is. Gryffindor secondaries. Gryffindor secondaries really face their problems and life head on, and they challenge life to do its worst. And when it comes to pursuing things that they love, Gryffindor secondaries are honest, brash, and bold. Ravenclaw secondaries. So if you're the type of person who really plans things out, then you might be a Ravenclaw secondary. So Ravenclaw secondaries really plan and strategize what they're going to do. They don't necessarily always go with the flow because they prefer to be prepared for whatever's to come. Hufflepuff secondaries. So their strength comes in their consistency and integrity for their method. They stay dedicated to their system, and that's how they accomplish things. The secondary Hufflepuffs are the hard workers. So these girls say that they have a certain steadiness in how they approach life, and I'm assuming also people and situations. They're very reliable. Slytherin secondaries. These Slytherins are the improvisers. They are the most reactive secondaries. These people can respond very quickly to whatever's thrown at them. So where Gryffindors might use force and strength and bravery, Slytherins might tackle things in a different angle, a little bit more cunning. They said that Slytherin secondaries might describe themselves as having multiple faces and changing faces depending on the situation or the people. They'll kind of be more like a chameleon, and they won't actually shed that until they feel safe enough to do so. So just like primaries, secondaries also have broken down categories. So for the first category, we have builders versus improvisers. So obviously secondaries who are builders, they build. Whether it's physically building something or they're building a system within themselves, these are always hardworking folks. The secondary houses that are builders are Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw. Then we have improvisers. So secondary houses that are improvisers feel much better prepared if they're jumping in and reacting rather than having a plan, because sometimes being overly prepared can mess them up. And these houses are Gryffindor and Slytherin. The next category for secondary houses is situational versus inspirational. We'll start with the inspirational secondary houses. Often their strength is how they affect other people, how they inspire other people. So these houses are Gryffindor and Hufflepuff. Then we have situational secondary houses. So they say that these houses tend to excel during certain types of situations, rather than succeeding because they asked for help or succeeding because they wanted to inspire people. So I would say that these people might be a little bit more like lone wolf types, but I mean, I could be wrong, I don't know. So the secondary houses that fit into situational are Ravenclaw and Slytherin. Whew, okay. I hope I explained that correctly. I know there is actually more stuff in this, but I didn't want to, confuse you guys. Thank you so much, Jessie, for putting this out there for me, because I probably wouldn't have found it if it weren't for you. So that's pretty much it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something fun and new and random. If you guys like this video, if you like this theory, then give it a thumbs up. And I mean, if you're a Slytherin, then just give me a thumbs up as well, because one of our traits is fraternity and, help your fellow man, even though I'm not a man, but you know what I mean. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and follow me on my social media accounts. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I love you all to pieces, and I will see you in my next video. Much love, guys. Bye.